Hello, my name is Eric Roeder, and I work in business development for Codalation. My team of elite nerds is dedicated to helping turn big ideas into first customers. Building apps and helping develop new businesses allows me to meet amazing people. These people are doing amazing things in our tech community and my actual community of Fargo, North Dakota. I wanted to start a platform to help business leaders and other great people in our community tell their story. Connecting with amazing people is my job. Welcome to my office. My guest this week is Stacy Lodering of the Emergency Food Pantry. Stacy had this idea to innovate their workflow and workplace. She brought the idea to our local digital academy. They had the students kind of set up the foundation of the app. From there, she found some grant money to have actually our team finish the app. She didn't have to fundraise for any of it. And we're talking about ways to creatively fund innovation today. Welcome, Internet. I'm here with Stacy Lodering of the Emergency Food Pantry, and I'm just really excited to have you on as a guest because I missed you. I just enjoy talking to you. So we'll introduce you to the Internet. Can you tell the Internet a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. I'm so glad to be here. And it is strange, right, to do this over the internet, but it's also the day and time that we're living in right now. So I'm Stacy Lodering. I work at the Emergency Food Pantry in Fargo and been here just about 6 years. And as we talk a little bit more today, I'll be able to describe some of the details about that work.
Good. That was right into my next bullet pointed question. Can you tell us a little bit about the Emergency Food Pantry?
I definitely can. I think sometimes with the title of who we are, it's kind of understandable, but our main job is to get food to people in our community who wouldn't otherwise have food. And so we use the term food basket, like we give food baskets to people, but that's kind of a misconception because the amount of food that people get is really a cart full of food. Sure. And it's based on how many people live in the household. So tough stories. People are dealing with a lot of things. Not having enough money to provide food for themselves. And, our role is to get food into people's homes.
Oh, God, and you're so positive about things. I just enjoy our conversations. And so, and we'll kind of go into these are very loaded questions. And so, but we went over them a little bit before. So you work in this kind of environment and you guys were kind of running into a little bit of a problem with kind of your delivery and your logistics. Can we talk about what that was and a solution that you kind of came up with?
Absolutely. So I'll talk a little bit even pre-COVID, right? So people in need would come into our building when we were open, and we have a criteria that we help every other month. So of course we're checking income levels and eligibility. But we were finding that with so much need in our community, that just some of the dynamics were really tough to get everything in place. So we started to think bigger, thinking about technology. So it had been kind of on our back burner, but really when COVID hit, started to think about what's more convenient for clients, what's bringing safety to everybody involved. And so the first step that we did for COVID was just limited who was coming into the building. And that was based on staff and scheduled volunteers, and then the occasional delivery, obviously. And we've it's been a year now. I cannot believe it's been a year that we've been handling this. So I won't dive into the Emerging Digital Academy yet, but we really started to think about how technology could be used in ways that we hadn't used it. And I would say I'm not a techie, right? Give me a program. No, maybe. Give me a program, knowing kind of what needs to happen. And I can do the tasks, right? But I don't have anything behind the scenes. And I think too, in some ways, this process, which I'll talk about soon, was really good for me because it really opens the ideas of what technology can offer. Does that give enough background, Eric?
Of course it does. Again, I have my list and you are just segueing perfect. And so there's this Emerging Digital Academy where they bring on a cohort of students and they put them into groups and they say, here's a real world problem in our community. Can you guys build an app or build a solution for them. And I'd like to have you talk about like talking to Blaine or who they need to contact to if someone else is in that, like, we're needing to build a technology solution. We are not a techie. We want to be connected with that. And so kind of talk about that process a little bit.
Absolutely. So it was actually one of our current board members that let us know about the opportunity. So I'll talk about my experience, and then potentially it's going to be really similar to what somebody would do today.
Sure.
So there's an online application, and it really is, who are you? What is the problem you're trying to solve? What creative ideas have you thought of so far? And so what I recall is I gave a really general statement of, we would love to have clients to be able to check in on their phones, right? So there isn't a one-to-one face-to-face interaction. People don't have to stand outside in a line, snow, wind, all the things that we're experiencing throughout the year.
Yes.
And so that's how it started. I put an application in saying, this is what could really, truly help us. And then ended up having, I think, another phone call to say, like, tell me a little bit more about what you're needing, because the short paragraph doesn't necessarily share maybe the depth or the intention of what we wanted.
Right. And coming from the more techie side, you have to have a discovery phase to make sure what you're building is what is needed, And
I'll just jump in there. I think that was something, like, this whole process was new to me. And I really enjoyed the discovery process as well, because it gave me a chance to meet the developers. It gave me a chance to have them ask me questions. And then it made me think a lot deeper than maybe what my original thoughts were with it.
Yes. And so they built a product for you, and I feel like they got like 90% done.
It was amazing. Yes. Yeah. So the 4 students, we ended up having a super structured, so many meetings. We would leave the meeting. I'd have tasks to do. They'd have tasks to do. And then we knew when we met again. So it was like a really great progress throughout their time. The timeline was quick too. I mean, it was quite amazing with the 4, I think, almost full time working on the project.
Yeah.
And even like the occasional question would come up. So, an email or a phone call, and the nonprofit would typically be then, at least this is how we did it, be connected to one of the members. So the communication was consistent, and then that member would bring it back to their full team.
And that's pretty consistent with most dev. Good job, EDA, of real life, right? Based on a coding company that I work for. Very real world.
Oh, yeah.
And so they made you this nice product, and then it was basically done. But then it was getting cold, and you wanted to be able to like actually use it. And there, people that don't know this, there's like a little bit of stuff to put things over a finish line, and you have to have hosting fees and kind of things like that. So you went out and you kind of looked for grant money to get this thing to the finish line. And can you talk about that process a little bit again for other nonprofits that might have a problem? Like, how are we going to fund this? Because fundraising it's tricky. So yeah, just kind of the process of looking for those grants.
Absolutely. So I do think that our region, Cascade counties, North Dakota, Minnesota, we do have a lot of foundations, a lot of groups who are really wanting to support kind of those inventive things. So through the process, and COVID, I think, was a large part of that funding piece, because it was a very, hey, this is going to help with some of the streamlining of it, not having people one-to-one face, those types of things. And so it ended up being put through a COVID grant. And so kind of talking through, what is it going to entail? What are the projects that have to get done? And it was, I went out to local companies to say, here's a product that's almost done. And it was actually usable. But we really wanted the user experience to be streamlined, and started, I think, honestly, through the process, learned there were some things I didn't know I needed or wanted in the beginning. And I did not want to put it out to the public until those find things were tuned.
Sure.
And what I feel as a non-techie, really, having a professional service, just kind of extend, like you said, a few of the other pieces that we wanted to add external to that app, to make it easier on our staff and the transition as well. So, we could have jumped on and done it right away. I think we would have had a few headaches only because I didn't know to ask for some of that stuff in the very beginning of the development.
And again, every dev project is like, oh, we didn't think about things, and testing and QA is like, it's so important. So we're wrapping up with winter. Like, how did it go this winter?
Yeah, so we ended up having another technology, more simple, put into place. And so we ended up having a doorbell intercom system. So we did keep the separation and we asked people to wait in line, but we actually have not gone full 100%.
Oh, well, it's on the process. I didn't quite know.
15 minutes ago, I got an email though. So we did get to work through correlation with our grant dollars. And I got an email saying that I think there's only 3 things left to do. So we're a little early. We don't have the specifics of clients' involvement, but the process has been amazing to be able to talk through doing a run through with staff. How did it work? Getting more of our content of what's going to work or not work. And then getting a video back to say, okay, we fixed those. It was actually really cool to see one of the developers show, these are the changes we made. This is how it actually works back and forth. And so I was able to be the observer, if that makes sense, and just 100% look at the process. And I think the other thing I've really appreciated is just being supported in the process. So having a question, well, we'll show you once, now you do it, right? Because once you do it, you're going to understand where those little glitches might be. So we are so excited that we don't have a specific launch date, but it's just those little nuances of, what other pieces do we want to add or teach staff, and then we are good to go.
Well, that's honestly. So I remember I connected you to the rest of my team, and I never even know where things go. I'm like, I think this is done. It looks like it's done. It's good to know that it's coming.
It is, yeah. And I mean, sometimes it's timing of things. You get an email, and you wait, 1 to 3 days, and then it's sent back, and those types of things. And so we did another extension. Actually, there were a couple little things I thought, oh my gosh, if we are. I think we're at 150% now, right? I mean,
that's exciting.
We're right. I mean, I think that there are elements of it that will be there, which we hadn't really planned on from the beginning.
Oh, and again, this is why I wanted to reconnect with you in the first. I wonder where this thing even is. We're close, and we're better than where we started, and that's the goal going into every build that we kind of have. So I guess for other people watching, what are some ways that how can we help out the emergency food pantry?
Yeah. So we do offer food baskets 5 days a week. And I'd say the main things that can help are contributing, whether it's food. We do take also things like dish soap, deodorant, toothpaste, or finances. The financial contributions really help us with the flexibility, right? Sure. So if we need to go out and buy a certain product, we have that reserve there. We can go and purchase that. And volunteering. So we have a wide range of volunteers that come in. We really try to match what we have a need to accomplish with a person's interest. So, we have food that we need to sort, check for quality, filling the actual food baskets when clients are, coming to the door and requesting it. There's always things like cleaning, maybe stuffing envelopes. But if a person really is called to the passion of supporting people with food, just right now we're doing a phone call. Just call us, and it's 701-237-9337, and just kind of finding a date and time that will work. In the future, again, another technology we want to embrace is just using an online sign-up option.
Sure.
So, those are just those next steps that we want to keep looking for. part.
And I'll have Maddie put up all of the graphics for that phone number for now, so that they can bug you or whomever on your staff. And again, part of giving back is giving back how you can, and use your talents to the best of their abilities. And so, yeah, if someone has some extra deodorant or a little bit of extra, food lying around, they would super appreciate it. You know me, and we can't be on my show without some sort of nerd something. So, Stacy, what's the latest nerd movie that you've watched as we're kind of wrapping up winter and have been shut-ins for a while?
So, at home, we have been watching a lot of the Marvel movies.
Yes.
And we've started to rewatch. And so the most current would have been the Avengers. And I think it was the Endgame, with some ideas of seeing what else is next. But looking at that, you're looking at Wiki and you're looking at IMDb or whatever it's called. And it's like, whoa, there are some other things. And so we are considering going back and watching them, again, because I think there are nuances of parts of the movie that I don't catch the first time, or you see something in one movie and go, no way, it was all the same. And it's another scene that now you start to see how they melt.
It's crazy to me that Avengers Endgame was the end of Iron Man 1 20 some years ago, or whatever.
I love that connection. What?
I love how tied together it is. And so, yeah, no, it's been a journey to get there, and all the others, there's still more stuff coming, but God, I loved all of that. And so, yeah, nerd questions mean we're kind of should probably wrap things up. Did you have anything else, Stacy?
No, just it's so good. Wish we were in person drinking coffee, but this is where we're at right now. And just thank you. Both the technology upgrades for the emergency food pantry and then some potential, volunteering or funding. It just really is what keeps us going strong.
Oh, I love it. And so, yes, if you're watching this and you're a nonprofit, reach out to the EDA. They'll help make you guys a tool. Stacy, thanks for your work and all your stuff, and have a good week, everyone.
Awesome. Bye.
All right. Stop recording. Nailed it.